And you know what happens when you don't have an outlet or an outward focused life is you lose perspective about what matters in life.
Yep.
You will completely lose your sense of what is important and what isn't. It's funny, when you have an inward focus, you'll have a wrong perspective of what a trial is. You know what I'm saying? So what you talked about.
Yeah.
You know what, man, I ain't been it, but man, I'm in this test. I'm in this trial. Man, what's happening? Man, I ain't been able to get them shoes, on sale. Like I want, you know what I'm saying? Like just you'll have a wrong perspective of what a trial is. There's some people, and I'm kind of looking, and they're talking about. And let me just be clear: I'm not trying to down because what may be hard to one person is hard. It may not be hard to another person.
Yeah.
But there are times where I'm kind of listening to people talk about what is vexing them and what is trying them.
Yeah.
And sometimes I be trying to keep my face together because I'm kind of like, no, your life is too insulated.
Yeah.
It's too much about you. Like there is real pain in this world.
That's right.
There is actual suffering. What you're talking about, like,
It's
no
an
shade,
inconvenience.
that's an inconvenience.
Yeah.
Life can be fast-paced, strenuous, and flat-out overwhelming. Life transitions and taboo topics can make it hard to catch your breath. Welcome to Breathe, a podcast that enables you to slow down, get your bearings, and engage in real conversations where no topic is off limits. Breathe is presented by Breath of Life, hosted by David Person and speaker-director Pastor Debleaire Snell.
Hey.
Boom. All right.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
It's Monday.
It's another Monday.
Yes,
It's
Pastor
another
Snell,
Monday.
We got Pastor Nugent,
Yes,
David
indeed.
Person. We are glad. We're excited to be here, as you can tell.
Absolutely.
These Breathe episodes feed us.
They
And
do,
we
man.
hope they are feeding you.
They do.
Yeah.
They
And that's
do.
why we're excited. We're pumped up because we're being fed by these.
Absolutely.
And also by your reaction to them. So
Yeah.
we thank you
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
As I said last episode, I was telling you what we're going to be talking about today. The outward focus as it relates to prosperity.
Yeah, man.
So we're
Yeah.
talking really about prosperity and service.
Yeah.
And service. So how do we connect the two? Because
Yeah.
I don't really hear that being done. I don't hear people connecting, at least not often, prosperity with service.
Yeah, so, so part of this kind of, as we try to help you develop a prosperity kit, it's just kind of understanding prosperity is not formulaic. Like they're not just certain things you do and it's just going to generate prosperity in the way that I hope.
Yeah.
Right? But I do think that there are some ingredients or I guess a way to live your life that positions you for prosperity. And I think a part of it is having an outward focus. I think that you can limit your prosperity by living in a way where your world revolves around you. When it revolves around your wants, preferences, comforts, indulgences, I think that's an anti-prosperity worldview. I guess the best way I can say it.
Yeah.
And so, like, even when I think about what the Bible says in Acts 20, where the apostle talks about how, man, I've been trying to help you understand. And he talks about, and he quotes Jesus when he says, it is more blessed to give than to receive. Like, it's funny because it's probably, when you think about the magnitude of that statement, because all of us want to be blessed. We want to be in the overflow. We want to have the excess. We want God to enlarge our territory.
Come on.
But I just think that, like, honestly, like, if we are going to see prosperity, not as just, again, a worldly achievement, but, man, the outgrowth of relationship with Christ, then we need to kind of really embrace his way. And I just think that, man, if we're going to really take God at his word, if it is truly more blessed to give than to receive, a part of that then says, all right, I don't need to have an insular inward focus. I need to kind of have an outward focus where I live as a conduit, not a collector.
So
Conduit, not a collector. That's good.
That is excellent because I think we can bring in some modern examples here, some current examples here. You know, we have in this nation right now, we have people that are almost in a race, it seems, to see who can be the next billionaire.
Yeah.
In fact, there's even talk about Elon Musk becoming the first trillionaire.
Yeah.
You know, you think about that, $1 trillion. You know, that one person would have that kind of worth. Yet on the other side of the coin, you have Mackenzie Scott, the ex-wife of Jeff Bezos, speaking of a billionaire, the owner of Amazon, who is giving away literally hundreds of millions of dollars to HBCUs in particular. I mean, she's given away just this year alone, I think probably close to $1 billion. If I'm not mistaken. You know, so we have these parallel tracks, you know, in terms of prosperity, and we have the outward focus, you know, Mackenzie Scott. We have that deeply almost narcissistic inward focus of these others. In my opinion.
In my opinion as well.
But I think, and again, let me be clear because I don't know any of these people.
Right.
But I guess what you can glean, like when you look at just at least their personas, what is reported, the things that are written about them. It seems like people that have a more authentically outward focus generally tend to be a little bit more peaceful, settled, genuinely, especially when I think about the Musk guy, sane, you know what I'm saying? Because I just kind of, you know, I think that there is a joyfulness. I think that there is a wholeness. I think, honestly, okay, let me say it this way. You ever bought something and had buyer's remorse?
Oh, yes.
Like you regret it, like, man, I know I bought that, or I paid too much for that. Or I finally got it. And it's just like, you know, no big deal. But I don't think, now this is just my experience. I've never had serving or helper's remorse.
Never.
Like,
that's good.
I never poured into, helped, assisted, you know, looked to be a blessing to somebody. And after the fact, I was just like, man, you know what? you know, like, but I do think that there is a certain remorse that comes with, again, living as a collector of things that you don't have when you live as a helper and an aid to humanity when you see it in a suffering posture.
I want to share two things here. One, so my wife and I belong to an organization called BNI. It's called Business Networking International. And they work under the mantra of givers gain.
Givers gain.
Givers
I like
gain.
That.
Givers gain. And so it's a networking community, and essentially you are referring. Once I know what David does, then I can refer leads to him that are vetted. And by me doing that, the premise is that as the giver, you gain. Not necessarily you gain monetarily, but you become a conduit. You become a referral piece. You become part of this network. You become part of the solution for this person's problem by connecting them to David. So there's this giver's gain piece. There's an intangible component of fulfillment that you get just by being part of that process. And I think that's kind of what we're talking about in terms of prosperity here on the giver, on the service side of it. But then when I got into content, well, a good friend of mine who I see as a big brother in the content world, who has no thus saith the Lord, I want to be clear. He blew me away. This guy does not believe. And so I said to him, man, tell me the cheat code in one sentence, how can I be successful with content? He said to me, seek to serve. I was like, you got to be kidding me. He's like, yeah, seek to serve, man. Yeah, he said all this vanity metrics, all this get for myself, that's not the way.
Wow.
You turn that focus on the person you're serving, you're going to be successful. I was like, do you know what you sound like right now? You sound like a believer.
Wow.
And he was like, well, I mean, hey, I don't know about all that, but I just know in this space, seek to serve.
Man, it's so funny because, like, when you talk about the giver's gain, because I think even what secular people are able to understand, when I say secular or non-religious people,
Right.
I think people recognize there are multiple types of currency.
Agreed.
There is a currency of the heart that account can only be filled when you live a life of helpfulness.
Yes.
Come on.
You know, so I had a situation where probably a few years back there was a student, And, you know, I saw, you know, this person around, I'm not going to say it was him or her. And I was just like, yo, especially in the winter, they would not be dressed appropriate. I was just like, yo, why aren't you wearing a coat? And they were just like, well, you know, I'm cool, you know, da, da, da. And so I felt impressed in this instance to kind of press a little further. I was like, do you own a coat? And it's funny, and, you know, the person kind of reluctantly kind of acknowledged. And so I was just like, you know, listen, I'm going to send you something now. And this is not for you to go out. This is not for you to go to the movies or whatever. You know, I want you to go to Burlington right now.
And go get it.
Pick it up. So, and it's funny because, like, man, that act of doing that, and when I saw them in the winter, and we've never revisited the conversation. I wouldn't even allow him to bring that up because it was not, you know, so on and so forth.
No, it wasn't for that.
But just like that process, and just like when I saw this person, they kind of was like,
yeah.
Man, you know, honestly, there is no amount of money that could have made me happier than in that moment of just seeing this young person like, man, I'm good. Like I can go to the calf and I don't have to rush, you know what I'm saying, kind of moment. And I don't say this like, you know, because I don't really think you should put that kind of stuff out there. But I want to kind of use it as an example to say, man, like, listen, man, that made my week, man. I mean, I just, come on, nothing else better happened to me that week than to know that this little that I have could be used to kind of help somebody else.
So good.
And what I'm saying is, I just think that when we realize that there are different types of currency. And you know what? And even if I had gone to buy myself a new coat, I would not have been
there it is.
as happy or as joyful.
That's so good.
Then the opportunity to just kind of make this deposit into a young person. So I guess I'm hoping that somebody really digests and understands that there's currency of the bank account.
There is.
But there's a currency of the soul, which, man, because your bank account can go up and down. It can be empty. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can have overdraft. You know what I'm saying? But
you can be in the red. You can be in the red. Lord.
When you just kind of live, you know, kind of seeking a different kind of currency.
I love that.
Man, there's just no deficit there.
Yeah, no, I will tell you, just kind of watching Kanique and how she's been moving in her business spaces and networking and being that connector and making those deposits into other people, it is absolutely fulfilled. It fulfills her, but people begin to see her as a conduit as well. Like, hey, do you know anybody that does this? Yeah, I actually have a friend over here and they're really good. And you those kind of conversations, that is also currency.
Oh,
that is absolutely
any deposit.
Currency. Any deposit. Right. And it is a deposit. It is a deposit to the person who is finding a solution, but it is a deposit to the person who is able to provide the solution. And of course, there may be in some instances some money may exchange hands, but the conversations and the feeling that you have, that's intangible, man.
So you said you hit on something, man. You on it today, Kurt. So when you give wisdom, that's a deposit.
That's a deposit.
When you encourage, that's a deposit.
That's a deposit.
When you listen, you just take the time to listen. How are you doing? But you're not just running past, waiting for a cliche
deeper
answer,
question,
but just giving your attention. So, like, even every deposit is not same way. Every gift is not financial. Every deposit is not financial as well. I just use that as an example.
No, you're absolutely correct. Because I think for you in that story, it was asking the deeper question.
Correct. Yes.
Because probably somebody else may have had that conversation with the person, but never asked the next question.
And kind of leaned into
it, and that gives the person an opportunity to really share what's happening. That's a deposit.
So like, and if I could use this as an example, and this is, I think, how believers ought to function. So in our universe, kind of the sun is the center of our universe. Everything kind of revolves around it. But like the sun, it is, I mean, I think it's a tremendous object lesson because it is not stationed there to receive.
Right.
It is everything that it gives to everything in its orbit. And I just think that there is an object lesson where we're not supposed to draw from everything in our orbit.
Right.
We're supposed to emit something and give something to everything in our orbit. And honestly, so this is kind of really where I want to kind of really step, David, because when we talk about all that's wrong with the church and what's not happening in the church and why we're unhappy with our church, one of the problems with contemporary church and Christianity is that we have voyeur Christianity.
Mercy.
And we have a consumer approach to church. like it's all right. My Christianity
Yes,
is
sir.
observation, not participation.
Mercy.
It is not active. It is it's just what I read and what I hear and the song that thrills the sensations through the notes that they hit, so on and so forth. It's kind of entertainment based.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is, especially post-pandemic, like the reason, like, man, we are kind of spiritually tapped out, spiritually stale, spiritually frozen, spiritually just always all over the place is, you know what the missing ingredient is? It is an outward focus, an orientation unto service where I am intentionally positioning myself through acts of service, acts of kindness, whatever, to be a conduit to somebody else. Listen, I want to say, I don't mean this as a rebuke, but like however you receive it is however you receive it. Like if you're stale, man, you're discontent, every church you attend or transfer to, something's wrong with it. Like I'm telling you, one of the missing elements is having a way to serve both in the body of Christ and in community. Like that's the missing ingredient for somebody, because like apart from mental illness, which is a part of our world, from all metrics, some of us, I look at your life should be happy. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
It should be.
You have things, you got a husband, you got a wife, they're attracted. You know what I'm saying? But the missing element is just you and I went to the Dead Sea. A couple years ago.
Yeah.
And it's quite an experience, man.
Mercy.
Like the Dead Sea. And it's funny because nothing can live there. Because the saline count is so high. And it's funny because like when you get in the Dead Sea, it's kind of dope because like you can't sink.
You can't sink.
Because it'll cause you to float. But the reason nothing can live there in the Dead Sea is that it has an inlet, but it has no outlet. Water flows into it, but nothing flows out of it. And so like there's no life there. Nothing can live there. And spiritually, emotionally, our saline count is so high is because all we've done is position ourselves to be able to be received. Is to be poured into to receive.
But never to.
But you gotta have an outlet to which, man, your gifts are employed, your wisdom is employed, your resources are employed to be a blessing to somebody else.
Yeah.
Man, that's
and I can see where a person who is constantly receiving can begin to develop a very sort of warped mentality. Like, well, this is the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that means everything is really supposed to be about me.
Me.
I'm supposed to receive.
I'm supposed to receive.
I'm entitled to receive. You know?
And you know what happens when you don't have an outlet or an outward focused life is you lose perspective about what matters in life. You will completely lose your sense of what is important and what isn't. It's funny, when you have an inward focus, you'll have a wrong perspective of what a trial is. You know what I'm saying? So what you talked about. You know what, man, I ain't been it, but man, I'm in this test. I'm in this trial. Man, what's happening? Man, I ain't been able to get them shoes, on sale. Like I want, you know what I'm saying? Like, just you'll have a wrong perspective of what a trial is. There's some people, and I'm kind of looking, and they're talking about, and let me just be clear. I'm not trying to down, because, what may be hard to one person is hard. It may not be hard to another person. But there are times where I'm kind of listening to people talk about what is vexing them and what is trying them. And sometimes I be trying to keep my face together because I'm kind of like, no, your life is too insulated. It's too much about you. Like there is real pain in this world. There is actual suffering. What you're talking about, like, no shade. That's an inconvenience. That is not real suffering. That ain't even a trial. Like, Paul would say, the apostles would laugh at us. You know what I'm saying? If they heard us talking about our trials, so to speak. So I just think when you don't have a missionary outward focus, every lack of indulgence throws off our balance because we lose a sense of what's important and what's not.
So what does the Bible teach us about how to connect service to prosperity?
So it's so there are these litanies. It's just a litany of Bible texts where the Bible talks about how he who gives to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will repay him. Or even when you look at Matthew chapter 6, so he kind of gives like this whole litany of things. We talked about it once. We talked about going the extra mile. When somebody asks you to go 1 mile, go with them two. If they ask you to borrow this, give them your coat too. But he says, man, give, and it will be given unto you. So when he says give, this is not talking about tithe and offering. No. It's talking about just the meeting of needs. Give, and it will be given unto you. Good measure.
Pressed down.
Yeah,
that's it.
Shaken together.
That's it.
And running over will men pour into your bosom. And so the reason I wanted to kind of say this, and this is why I say, okay, listen, I want it to be a worldview and a way that you live, not to try to create a formula. All right, so I'm going to go out here based on what the pastor said. Yeah. And I'm going to bless this person. Right. And I'm going to pull the lever, kind of with the hope that now, you know what I'm saying, it's just going to all flow back to me. Like, no, that's not what we're talking about here. We're not, again, it's not means to an end. It's a way of living. And it's kind of the recognition that all currency doesn't have a precedence face on it.
Agreed.
So we're not talking about karma.
Karma, correct? Yeah,
we're not talking about karma.
That's right. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
And maybe a different way of looking at it is, okay, I'm going to looking at trying to sow a different type of seed in order to reap a different type of harvest. So, like, you can't sow apple seeds and reap bananas. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that, man, if you sow seeds of kindness and generosity and helpfulness, aid, like, there is a harvest that accompanies that. But it's not going to always just show up in one form or fashion.
I think there's a legacy component here as well that we often sometimes overlook, because how you are able to impact others is that's your legacy. Yeah, that's what people will talk about. They're not going to talk, oh man, David, man, he, such and such award winner, blah 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 blah. No, they're going to talk about, man, let me tell you, that guy David, y'all don't know, man. When I was at my last, he came and set me up. That legacy component. That's a piece that we got to talk about as well. And that's prosperity.
It is, and it's funny. So when you talk about legacy, it all boils down to that. So I've had I guess at this point, 4 official pastoral farewells. Okay. And where I've had to leave a church and go to another church. Yeah. And so, with people, they're kind of expressing what matters to them. So it's funny because I'm probably known in terms of just to the larger audience for sermons I preach. Yeah. But by the time you have been in a church 4, 5, 11 years.
Absolutely.
Don't nobody remember what you preach. You know what I'm saying? Like they are impactful for that week and that moment. And there be maybe a few things that stick with people. But like the legacy is this moment where you stood with people. Come on. In the crisis moment. Yeah. That's what people remember.
Yes, they do.
The moment where you showed up when you didn't have to. That's what matters, and that's what sticks with people. And even as I think about people that have been impactful, it's not like, all right, gifts they've been purchased, but the legacy that lives. It's, man, how they showed up, man, how they encouraged, how they admonished, the wisdom that they dispatched. Like that's kind of legacy. And this is the other element of prosperity. That's why I'm glad you mentioned it. So there are things that you do when you have an outward focus that bless others. And sometimes the benefit doesn't just fall back on you. It will fall on your children. And it will fall on your grandchildren.
That's good.
I share the story occasionally. So when we first moved here to Huntsville, there's a lady here, I won't call her by name, for whatever reason. So, before we had even really settled as a pastoral family, hadn't even really made, in my mind, I guess, done anything for this dear person or was any real way a blessing to them.
Got you.
But man, they just assigned themselves to me and Gianna. So she would just do stuff for the kids and make stuff and bake stuff. And at a point, it was like early on, it was a little kind of strange because I didn't want to, you're okay reaping where you have something. I'm like, sis, like what's up? So anyway, long story short, because I know I'm kind of taking us off the scenic route. But so for those who are familiar with the Oakwood community, my wife's grandfather, his name was Mr. Norman.
Oh, yeah.
He worked in the accounting office here at Oakwood for many years. So long story short is she talked about how, so we found ourselves just like, yo, what's up?
What's going on?
Because you're doing too much. You don't you don't have to do this. Like we just want to serve like that, you know, you don't have to do this in order to be close to it. Like she was like, no, this ain't This ain't about you. Respectfully, this is not about you.
Right.
But when my children were trying to get through school, 40 years ago, her grandfather did X and Y and Z and went out of his way and showed unusual kindness to me when I didn't have the money or the means, And here it is.
That's it.
He has been deceased now for a little while.
For years.
And guess what, man? And not only did the seeds of kindness that he sowed, I'm sure they came back to him, but blessing his children and grandchildren.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And great-grandchildren.
And great-grandchildren because a lot of what she's doing was for our kids.
My word.
And so what I'm saying is, like, we kind of, again, limit prosperity kind of just how it comes back to us.
Yeah.
But you got to realize that when you live like this, and people, when they, that's Nugent's kids. Oh, David's kids, grandkids.
Yeah.
No. I gotta sow something right there.
Right.
And it all doesn't come back to you just in a selfish way, but it blesses your children and grandchildren.
That legacy piece, man.
That is
It's
so
gold.
powerful.
That's gold.
And it really resonates with me because I knew your wife's grandfather.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Come on.
Great man. Great
Come on.
man.
Yeah.
Great man.
And you would say that's prosperous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
prosperity. That's
Absolutely.
prosperity. Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
prosperity.
Yeah.
So he put something in his kit that
Yep.
blesses
In his
generational.
prosperity kit.
Yeah,
I
he
love
sure
that.
did.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love
Yeah.
that. Blesses the
Yeah,
generation.
he ran the Oakwood
Come on.
College at that point credit union.
Credit union.
In his retirement years. He was still running that
Still
credit
active.
union.
Yeah.
So,
Legacy, man.
yeah, he was a great
that's
man.
good. That's
Great
good.
man.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Well, we talked about service and its connection to prosperity. I hope that resonated with you and that you will consider this as an integral part of your prosperity kit, your personal prosperity kit.
I love it.
We thank you for joining us for another episode of Breathe.
Oh, yeah.
We are going to, in our next episode, we're going to talk about prosperity from the standpoint of our profession.
Yeah.
Prosperity in the workplace.
In the workplace. Come on.
workplace.
Yeah. It's there too.
So that's what we'll be dealing with next time. Again, we love to hear your comments, your suggestions. Drop them in the chat, shoot us an email, hit us on social media, however you connect with us. And don't forget, as you move forward with prosperity and developing your kit, integrating service into this as well, remember to stop, pray, and breathe.
Breathe is produced by David Person for Breath of Life. Executive producer is Debleaire Snell, and sound engineer is Kirk Nugent. Audio episodes of Breathe can be found on Apple, Spotify, or Google podcast platforms. For video episodes and extra content, check out the Breath of Life YouTube channel. Breath of Life is faith-based content, resources, and programs from a contemporary urban perspective for those looking for hope and guidance. We believe that every breath we take is a testimony that God is consistent, that He loves us, and has a plan for our lives.